Coach, let me just start with you. Firstly, obviously, your feeling on winning this first Absa Premiership monthly award, being the Coach of the Month award.
Jesus, I should have prepared a speech or something like this, but so much work to do. Yeah, good. I think I strongly believe that there would not have been a lot of people on the 19th of May to keep me in the position. I strongly believe that the special thank you has to go to, because I'm 100% convinced about it, Kaizer Senior and Bobby were probably some of them who were convinced about that we can bring something into the right direction. Therefore, I think it's, first of all, very important to mention this. Secondly, good. The understanding of a team in former days was simple, easy. We talk about the players, but this is in the modern soccer industry different. We talk about the players, we talk about the medical stuff, we talk about the goalkeeper stuff, we talk about the assistant coaches, we talk about performance analysis, people employed inside the club. In the moment, we are definitely not having the biggest technical team squad, but of course, I know exactly that I'm representing in the moment here in this honorable PSL office the technical team of Kaizer Chiefs. It's not, I always say, the one-man show is only going in one direction. It's not a one-man show, definitely not. It's the contribution of a lot of people inside the technical team, inside the management of the brand of Kaizer Chiefs, to be really clear structured, to go into this direction where we in the moment heading. Therefore, thank you to the entire technical team too. And good, of course, I think. And that's the good part in soccer, where you always, I understand supporters, fans, there is always a piece of disappointment, losing a cup final in such a way is definitely something what's not bringing joy or fun. It's confusing, it's irritating, it's embarrassing, as we said. But good, then on the other side, and it's part of the soccer, and it's fantastic that the majority of the supporter, of the die-hard supporters of Kaizer Chiefs understand what has been done so far in the moment. Good, thank you to them for the support too. For me in the moment, it's just something where I can mention that probably not only in soccer, I think in each and everybody's life, as a company, as a club, as a team, it's possible to go into a certain direction, progressing, to go to the top of a league, to go to the top of whatever it is. It's possible. It's definitely something, but the more heavier part starts now, to stay on top. And to stay on top means challenge yourself, do more, be more alert, be more aware what has to be done, increase, if it is possible, your daily work, your weekly work, work with the team harder, and that's now the crucial moments where we are in. On the other side, personally, thank you. I understand this and accept this recognition so far in the moment, but definitely not in a way that I carried away and live on cloud number 7 or 9. I don't know which is the right one. But of course, you're happy to get recognized in such a way, and as I said, to be capable to represent the technical team of Kaizer Chiefs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach. Bradley, congratulations.
Thank you.
And obviously you've been on form. You started the season very well. Just your thoughts on your form as well as winning this award.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. it's an honour for me to be here. I know, myself and the club don't want to get carried away. It's only 4 league games and 2 cup games into the season, and it's very early, but from the club's point of view, we've got off to a good start, and we know there's a very long way to go. And for me personally, it's a great achievement. I believe I'm the first SuperSport player to have won this award, so hopefully it's the first of many. And yeah, for me personally, right now I'm just very happy to be playing again. I've had a few difficult seasons, frustrating seasons, and I owe a lot of credit to the club. I think SuperSport have been very patient with me. I've had 3 operations in the last 3 years, which most clubs would not accept that. And the club have been very good to me and helped me through it. I think I've got to give the medical team at SuperSport a mention. They've done extremely well. I've worked extremely hard with them, and then to the coach who's understood my situation and managed it very well. So we've got good new fitness trainers at the club who have worked hard with me. I've worked harder this pre-season than I've worked for a long time. I never missed trainings. I never rested on days. I finished every single training, every single day of pre-season, and I think that's showing now. And yeah, first of all, I'm just very happy to be playing and injury-free, and hopefully it's going to stay like that for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Brett. Let's now take questions from the floor. We do have a roving microphone in the middle. I'll take the first question just by show of hands. I think I see Mazola.
Coach, Mazola Molefe from Soccer Laduma. Coach, obviously it's congratulations, by the way. Obviously it's early on in the season, and just before the season started, the club mentioned possibility of beefing up the technical team as well. You mentioned that it's not the biggest of technical teams around. Are there talks to still boost that technical team, or are you happy with the people that you're working with at the moment?
Club life is a very interesting life. Being involved in changes, what have been done, asking for more at any time. When I'm saying be alert about it, where we are in the moment, be strong in your assessment, what's right, what's wrong, do more. Then you can imagine what is on my or in my skin and probably in my blood channels going on. I know exactly what should be done. I know exactly what has to be probably down to do different. But I must tell you that this type of discussions are done internally inside the club. We have a huge brand with a lot of opinions coming out of different areas. What's good, there is a certain discussion culture. In the end, decisions are done after a short period. Good. In this department, I'm only an employee of Kaizer Chiefs. I don't have the right, I can put my wishes onto the table, and then it has to be go the way in terms of following a certain procedure, which is obviously, in particular in Kaizer Chiefs, a very qualified one. I know I didn't give you the answer as you want to hear, but sometimes you have to use a lot of words without saying anything.
Okay, let's move on to Tsepo.
Okay, Coach, first of all, congratulations. Coach, in your opinion, what has changed? I mean, I remember before the start of the season, you mentioned the fact that you want to see your team play with more aggressiveness, so to speak. I mean, is it the fact that you had pre-season with the team? Is it helping for the players to understand your style of play, what you want out of them?
You have no chance. If the pre-season is not proper done, you have no chance to get correction during the season. If the preseason is not proper done, you will see the players collapsing in the end. You will see the players struggling to perform at a certain time if more matches coming in. The preseason is the most crucial one for different reasons. Not only what the physical structure is going on, it is the next crucial one in which way you want to play, in which way you want to position yourself. And therefore, that's one part. I think following a certain model, working in an effective way regarding the training load, and in addition with great attention to detail, what we did, what we produced during the entire time, preparing the team into it. Secondly, of course, in terms of changing, in terms of really putting players into a certain position. And we have a lot of new players. I said it and I will repeat it consistently as long as you ask. Libochang is a new player, Eric is a new player, Reef is a new player. They never were available for us. I think we see Samir, we see Lazarus, we see Kieran. Now we definitely have brought in players and we have recovered players with their potential, what we see in the moment, and that's very, very crucial to have this understanding. During the season, if you come in, it's a little bit polishing here, it's a little polishing there, then you think it will work. Then you see a certain inconsistency, then you see pressure is coming in, players cannot be able, then you see what's the purpose of a player playing soccer, probably here more entertainment than winning points, and you have to figure it out and you have to go the way to correct it, to change it, and I think a lot has been done in this direction.
All right, moving along, okay, let's go to Temba Shabalala, we'll come to you.
Temba Shabalala, Joseph from Sports. Congratulations to both gentlemen. But Coach, when you started speaking, you spoke about Bobby and acknowledged his input into the team and all of that, which is something that rarely happens here in South Africa with the Kaizer Chiefs supporters when it comes to Bobby. They don't see and understand his work, but some of us sitting from where we are, we've seen his input in the team and all of that. And just by that acknowledgement of him, how involved is your management in your day-to-day running of the team? And now that you've won this award, does it really mean that you've got the buy-in from the management, starting from Bobby and closing with the senior, Mr. Madau, that you are given the free role to do your changes and do whatever that you want with the team, now that you've started the season so well, which swaps the disappointment from last season? Does it mean now that you've got the full-on buy-in from management with respect to the question that Mazola asked, the technical team, the players that you still want to have in future and all of that, are they singing in the same hymn book as you?
You know, there is a Bible in the world, and this Bible doesn't change. The words and the sentence are always the same. And then there is something like a book, handbook or whatever in companies you are following. This handbook has to be modified, has to be adapted, that's what it is. And, on a day-to-day basis, how we train, how we load the players, how we are going now during the run of the season, preparing the next match in details. There is 100% responsibility on our side. There is nothing what comes in. If it comes to a certain challenge, to a certain where you say, okay, here we should think about to add this, or we should think about to add that. As I mentioned it already before, there is a normal qualified process in a company like Kaizer Chiefs. Of course, then as a coach, sometimes you have to be patient that something come in. But what is the most important role of somebody who has a senior position in the management in it. The most important stuff, and I think he has done a wonderful job, the most important stuff is to bring the right people in who can ship the ship into the right direction as Kaizer Chiefs want to have it.
Thank you, Coach. I want to now take questions for Bradley. I think we've had a lot of questions. Okay, we'll start with Tolagele, since the microphone is there, and we'll come to Veli.
Bradley Tolagele from Eyewitness News. For you, just how difficult have the past few seasons been? Because we've always known you've had the potential, but now you actually are fit and are playing consistently. And also during this period where you played with constant injuries, was there ever an option for you to leave SuperSport United?
Yeah, it's so hard to put into words how difficult, as a footballer, doing something you get to love every day, you know, not being able to do it consistently for 3 years. You know, I was in and out, playing, you know, doing well, enjoying my football, working hard, and then getting back into the national team. And, you know, I need to know that you're going to go for another operation. It's you know, I don't know if heartbreaking is the word, but it's extremely disappointing that, you know, you work so hard to do something you love and you just can't do it freely. At the same time, it's, you know, I just had kids not so long ago, and I got time to spend time with my kids and that, so I'm not saying that was the best thing, but things happen for a reason. And yeah, I think it's made me mentally strong. I think it's made me realize how important it is as a player to look after yourself, look after your body, and something I can only help younger players with. You know, when you're a young player growing up and people say, you know, nutrition, recovery, sleep is important, you kind of look away from it, but it's actually, it's really important, and it does catch up to you. So it's been extremely frustrating. I've worked very hard year in, year out to get back from an injury. I play for a couple of months and then I get injured again. So right now I'm just extremely happy. You know, I've had both my groins operated on, and I feel as good as I felt since I was maybe 21 years old. So I've got 2 new groins and I'm ready to go again. In terms of other clubs, there have been other offers that the club have looked at, and you know, SuperSport's a very ambitious club, and we want to win things. They want to keep their best players, and we may not have done that in the past, but you know, as disappointing as it, not disappointing, but I could understand at the time now when the offers did come in why the club did turn it down. You know, we want to win things. You know, the coach is building something. You know, Kaitano is a new coach, and he needs every player has, and he believed in me, and you know, they wanted me to stay. And like I said, I was always extremely happy to stay at SuperSport. It's a great club. I love being there, and we'll see what happens in the future. But for now, I'm happy there, and I really enjoy my football there.
Right, we're wrapping up now. Let's go to Velile here. I've noted you, Pila.
Thank you. Velile from the SLTV. Congratulations, gentlemen, on your accolade. Brad, you play along, you have Evans and also Kabuza next to you. Normally you would see one of the 2 or even 2 starting from the bench. How beneficial has this been to you, and also the system that you play? You feel that it's also enabled you to benefit like you started this season?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think at SuperSport we're very ambitious, and I think the club have done extremely well in getting players in positions that we need, hand-picking players that make a difference. And you know, one guy for me who has really been amazing, an amazing addition to the club is Gabuza. You know, a couple of weeks before the season started, I got a call from our chairman, CEO Stan Matthews, to speak to me about it, and I didn't even hesitate. I said to him straight away, I said, if you want the player you're looking for, there is no better player than him. And I mean, the club did well. They went and got him, and he's been a really big part of our team and how well we've done up to this point. So we got a whole lot of guys. We've got guys like Evans, we got Aubrey, and we got Mahachi, we got Tabo Nimani as well. We got a lot of players in attacking positions, which for myself, scoring goals at the moment is a very nice thing to have, because it gives you that option of, if you don't score, you got 5 or 6 other players that can come in at any time and score goals. And I think last season we were defensively very good, and our goal scoring was a bit of our problem, and I think we've fixed that now. We've got a lot of depth in those positions, so I love scoring goals, but it's also nice to know that there's going to be games where you don't score, but you will have other guys that can come in and score. So it does take a lot of pressure off an individual, and yeah, I think it's a very nice option for us to have.
All right, we'll take the last question. Kila Sunday.
Brady, firstly, congratulations on your award. You speak about making your way back to national teams and not really getting injured again. How disappointing was it for you to get into a national team this most recently, and then the game's not really coming into fruition? Was that disappointing for you not to get another chance to impress a new national coach?
Yeah, it is extremely disappointing. I think, especially for someone like me who has worked hard to get back there, and you get back there and then something like that happens. But there's other guys that were there, coming back from Europe, coming there for their first times, and I think it's very disappointing for them. But at the same time, we had a good chat after the game was called off with the president, Mr. Danny Jordan, and we all had our say. And I said in the meeting, as disappointing as it was, in that week we did a lot of work, a lot of good work. And I don't know when last I was in a national team where everyone felt so focused, and so everyone had bought into the idea. And Coach Mulife has done an exceptionally good job. And as disappointed as we were, I think also a lot of guys are playing a lot of football at the moment. We played 3 games the week before. We got 3 games coming out this week. So we're disappointed that we didn't play the game, but at the same time, we did do a lot of work, and a lot of good work, and a lot of work that will take us forward. And also, we didn't play the game, so a lot of guys are going back to their clubs still fresh, although they've done a lot of good work there. We're going back to our clubs fresh. We didn't come back with any injuries. So I think it's one of those things that happens. It's very unfortunate, but sometimes, after all the injuries I've had, I like to look at the positives, and I think we can take positives from that camp.